Hello, how are you doing? Welcome to FreeSTYLERs, the greatest podcast in the history of mankind. Season 2, we are back with the big man himself. How are you doing, Santa?
Oh, I am better than I deserve. Oh, Christmas is here in just a moment, so I'm so excited.
Is the weather better there? I know there was like a snowstorm yesterday.
Yeah, I don't know if you can see the window there. It's covered in snow. Yeah, it's kind of too bright. It's covered in snow. We got quite a bit of snow last night, 50-mile-an-hour winds this morning. But, Rudolph's ready to go, leading the sleigh. So we're ready. We're going to be trekking out here shortly. But yeah, we're ready.
That's awesome. If you can you describe how, like the sleigh and stuff, how do they get up there? Like, how does it fly?
How they get going? How they get flying? So yeah, that's wonderful. So we have different. We call it fairy dust here at the North Pole. For the sleigh, we use the blue fairy dust. Sprinkle it on the sleigh and feed a little bit to the reindeer and give them the power to fly. But yeah, that's ultimately what we're doing in the planning stages now, leading up to the big night. But within the fairy dust, there's red fairy dust, which helps transport the gifts into Santa's bag. The yellow fairy dust, which I sprinkle on my magic key. So those individuals that don't have chimneys, Santa has to use his magic key here and sprinkle the yellow fairy dust on it so it can fit any door and allow Santa in. But it only works on Christmas Eve, hence the date there. And so there's a lot of things at the North Pole that we've been working on, perfecting, preparing for the big day.
That's awesome. Does it just go like super fast, or how does it get everywhere?
Well, I mean, I look forward to Christmas all year long, and honestly, as a young man yourself, you know how long Christmas night is, right? You go to bed and it takes forever for the morning to get there. It's like the longest night of the year. Some say Santa can control time and slow things down, but ultimately what happens is Santa begins at the Christmas Islands and he follows all 34 time zones around the world, and then he finishes at the Atu Islands in the ocean. But the unique thing about Christmas is there's 59 countries that don't celebrate Christmas at all. There are a handful of countries that celebrate Christmas on January 6th. And there's also a handful of countries that celebrate it December 5th, December 6th, the Feast of St. Nicholas. So, when we think about Santa visiting all these places in one night, he does. But really, for some countries, though, you don't visit or they celebrate on another night.
So you do it by time zones?
Yeah. So at the North Pole, there's really no time zones, obviously, because they all meet there. But when we start at the Christmas Isles, we follow the time zones, which in some cases we got an hour, some cases we have less. But yeah, you follow the time zones around. So about the time you're waking up Christmas morning and you're having your breakfast and opening your gifts, me, the elves, and Mrs. Claus at the North Pole are getting ready to have a milk and cookies party. The reason that is we go to some of these houses and they leave 10 or 15 cookies for Santa. Well, for Santa to have all these cookies all over the world, he can't eat all of them. So what we do is I use that red fairy dust I said that we'd sprinkle on the gifts to transport them to the bag. Well, I'll sprinkle a little bit on the cookies. And what I'll do is they'll transport them back to the North Pole. So when I get there in the morning, about the time, like I said, you're opening your gifts, we're ready to have a milk and cookies party. We're just ready to go.
Do you get tired, from delivering all these presents? Or do you, sleep all day, like Christmas Eve? How do you prepare yourself?
Well, there's training that's involved. We wait all year for this. Because you do know what December 26th is, right? It's 364 days till Christmas. We're already behind schedule. So yeah, we train all year. The sleep, we can go without sleep occasionally as a young man yourself. You know what it's like to pull an all-nighter to finish a paper for school or to study. It's just like that for me. It's one big night a year. But really, all the magic we're providing everyone is really what matters and what really makes it so magical for all of us.
So you work on that one day all year, just preparing and getting.
There's a lot of work to do year round. Making sure boys and girls stay on the naughty or nice list, which we're going to do here in a second, Tyler. We're going to make sure you're on the naughty or nice list here in a second. But as well, we take care of the reindeer, we watch the elves, and there's a lot we do. But we're gonna segue into that. This is Herbie. He's my naughty or nice elf. He has these cards he gives me. So he tells us if you're on the naughty or nice list, okay? And we're going to do this via this video. And I know everybody's going to say, oh, well, that's fake. He took it off video. What I'm going to do is I'm going to leave it right up there. So what I'm going to do, Tyler, is I'm going to write your name right here along the bottom, okay? I'm not indicating you're naughty or nice. All I'm going to do is write your name right there, okay? That says Tyler, right? Probably not the best Tyler, but, I did it backwards a bit. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take the card. I actually want you to hold your hand out like this, Tyler, like you're sitting here with me. And I'm going to pull your card right out, okay? And there's your card. I haven't done anything with it. We're going to set it in my hand. I want you to say, is Herbie, have I been naughty or nice?
Herbie, have I been naughty or nice?
Just like that. See, he marked the card for you. And then look, we flip it up, and there it is. Tyler, that's your card. That's your name. We just did that. That's so jolly. Look at that, Tyler.
Is Herbie an actual elf?
So Herbie's my naughty or nice elf. I have lots of elves in the North Pole. Typically, I tell, last time we counted 20,493 elves. That doesn't include, the elves on the shelf that, are with all the children. But, those are my main elves. I have Herbie. He's my naughty or nice elf. I have Bernard. He's in charge of the workshop, of course. But then there's, Mixon. Mixon's my bag elf. He goes in the bag, and every once in a while he chirps a little bit. But, today I have him. He's in the workshop working with everybody, getting the gifts ready to go. So I have elves for everything. And, there's a plethora of skills, and they help wherever they can. What do you want to know about the North Pole?
What do I want to know about the North Pole?
Yeah. North Pole.
Well, is there like a community at the North Pole? Do you have like your own little city or town?
Oh, yes. It's beautiful. It is wonderful. So, of course, we have Santa's workshop, and, but then the elves, similar to some of the Christmas movies you may have seen. I like to tell people, you think almost Christmas Chronicles like, although in that movie, the depiction of Santa Claus is a little different. But the community, it's really like that. There's buildings and elves doing lots of different things. And, of course, the Christmas spirit, ultimately powers everything, from the Northern Lights and the big star. So, yes, it is a full community. Really, that's Mrs. Claus's duty. She makes sure everything runs swimmingly, but she keeps Santa in check as well.
You mentioned the big star. What is that all about?
What's that?
What's the big star?
So, really just powering Christmas spirit. We talk a lot about Christmas spirit and people believing in the magic of Santa and the magic of Christmas. And really, as Santa Claus, I represent the spirit of love and giving. So when it comes to all of you, you think about it. At Christmas time, your tree's coming in at you there. At Christmas time, why are people so much nicer? Have you noticed that? When you go shopping, people wave, people smile, people give more during Christmas. So really, we try to bottle that up and store it all year long. But, then there's the people like me or, other Christmas characters and Christmas believers that celebrate Christmas year round. And that Christmas spirit's really what keeps us going and really powers us at the North Pole, which is so magical.
What are some of the like Christmas characters you mentioned? Like Frosty or?
Oh, yeah. You have, obviously Frosty and the elves, of course. And, some people like to tie in Elsa. Elsa's a snow queen. She's wonderful. But, of course, my reindeer and then Frosty. Frosty's a great point. And then some like to consider the Grinch. The Grinch was really misportrayed. He says he hated Christmas, but really throughout the movie, he disliked people, the people of Whoville. And, at the end of the movie, he found the love of all things Christmas and all things people. And that's what made him so magical and wonderful. But really, our portrayal of the Grinch is just this negative character. We see the entire first half of the movie. But towards the second half, he falls in love with Whoville and the people of Whoville. And he loves Christmas. So why don't we look at him like that? He is so jolly, though.
You've talked to the Grinch a couple times?
Oh, the Grinch. Grinch is so jolly. He's so wonderful. He's such a character. Oh, yes. Have you ever caught Santa Claus yourself as a young boy, now or many years back? Have you?
Have I caught Santa Claus?
Yes. Have you caught Santa delivering your gifts?
I have not.
Do you know what happens?
Santa.
Do you know what happens if you catch Santa Claus?
What happens?
Well, I had a little girl once. She told me, my daddy told me that you're going to grab pepper and throw it in my eyes. So I'm trying to get the pepper out. You're going to take all my gifts and run away. I'm like, no, that's not true. Then I had another little boy. He's like, oh, my daddy didn't tell me anything. He's like, but you're going to put me on the naughty list, take my gifts, and I'm never going to get presents again. I'm like, oh, no, that's not true either. What happens is if I'm down, right, putting the gifts under the tree, and I hear behind me, Santa, is that you? I'll turn around, and I'll grab you by the hand, and I'll lead you over to the couch or the chair where you left me the milk and cookies. And I'll ask, where does mommy hide the good cookies? Because we all know mom hides the good cookies. It's you hide them from the kids and also hide them from dad because dad has a tendency to eat them as well. And you're going to go and get those milk and cookies. And then we're going to get you another plate and another glass of milk. And we're going to sit there and have a milk and cookies party. It'll be wonderful. We'll talk about the North Pole and we'll talk about the reindeer and your gifts and what you would like this year. But then a time comes where Santa has to get going because there are many other houses and many other children for Santa to visit. At that time, Santa reaches into his bag and he pulls out a little case. And in that case, he has a magic white feather right here. So with this feather, when Santa drops that feather, as soon as it hits the ground, you're back asleep in bed and you forget everything about what happened. But the thing is, the next morning, you wake up and there's a feather laying there on the ground. And if you find that feather, that means that you caught Santa Claus and you had a milk and cookies party.
That's awesome. I haven't heard that before. That's cool.
If you think about Christmas in other countries, right? There's Father Christmas in England and, Santa Claus and Papa Noel. And actually over in Iceland, there's two ogres. They're the Christmas ogre, and they end up having children. It's like 12, 14 children. And the only thing I really remember about these children is they run around and cause chaos. But their names are like Meat Licker and Doorway Sniffer and things like that. And it's just comical. But I have studied Santa Claus worldwide and, the many portrayals of Santa Claus. Yes.
You know about like the Krampus and stuff?
Oh, yeah.
What are your relations with that?
Well, Krampus in his country represents naughty. He's there to scare kids from being naughty, right? And that's not Santa. Santa, like I said before, Santa represents love and giving. So, Santa tries to wrap those kids and love them because truly, as we just saw, you're on the nice list, right? And I'll share with you, oftentimes, we're all on the nice list. We just make poor choices. Tyler, in a year, you make more good choices than you do naughty choices. And to be fair, you're on the nice list, yes. But, you're better than that. So Krampus, what his job is to scare those children and to frighten them from being bad. And that's not Santa. Santa just loves and cares and represents all things good and giving.
Tell me a little bit about like the reindeer and stuff.
Oh, the reindeer. Oh, there's Dasher and Dancer and Prancer and Vixen and Comet and Cupid and Donder and Blitzen. And of course, everybody's favorite, Rudolph. He's the one that leads the sleigh. He's our newest reindeer. His dad is Donder and Mrs. Donder's his mom. Our reindeer, though, are so jolly and so wonderful. Their favorite food is lichen. Lichen is found under the snow, under the rocks. It grows as kind of a moss or a fungus under the snow and rocks at the North Pole. That's their favorite food. But then beyond that, they like apples, raisins, and carrots. Those are their favorite foods, in that order, of course.
In that order? Okay.
Yes, in that order. So, reindeer, they're often, out and in the field. And it's hard. They don't have great hearing, but they have great eyesight. Hence, they can fly from house to house very, very easily. So for Santa, one of the things I do when I call them, I use sign language to call them. Do you know their names in sign language?
I do not.
There's Dasher. Looks like you're dashing. So get me in camera here. Dasher, like you're dashing.
Okay.
Dancer. Prancer. Vixen is a V. Comet, like a comet in the sky. Cupid is a heart. Donder. Now, Donder is everybody's favorite reindeer. He's the best looking reindeer we have. So in sign language, the sign for fine is this. Same for Donder. So we went over Dasher, Dancer, Prancer, Vixen, Comet, Cupid, Donder, and of course, everybody's favorite, Blitzen. You know why everybody's favorite is Blitzen? Because he's a goofball. He's always playing tricks. So we kind of goof like a clown nose, like this. But then, of course, there's Rudolph. So when I go out to the field, I sign to them and they come running, whether it's for food, or for attention, or for cleaning. That's how they come up to me in the barns at the reindeer barn.
Can you tell me about like the Polar Express and stuff? Is that real, or is that just in the
Oh,
movie?
yes, the Polar Express. That's so wonderful. I got to be on it recently. Oh, it's a big, beautiful train. And yes, you know the story of the Polar Express, don't you? Have you seen those movies or read that book?
I have. Yes.
Ultimately, it's really about the belief in Christmas and Santa. And, at the end of that movie, let me grab here. I got something. There we go. Towards the end of that movie, Santa gives the young boy a bell because of his belief in Christmas. And, really, it's what that movie's about. It's kind of, just the magic of Christmas. Because throughout that whole movie, they question, like, what was going on that train, right? And ultimately, when they get to Santa's workshop, their eyes are open. And then, they see Santa from way, way far away. And all he wants to do is get up there to see him. Well, when he gets up there and finally, interacts with Santa, Santa gives him his magic bell, which is, what makes ultimately that movie come the ultimate reason behind that movie and how it comes to life. But yes, the Polar Express is a beautiful train. It is a very old train, but it is so magical. It is so nice. Yes.
Hello.
Better.
Is that good?
No, much better. Much jolly. Much better.
Okay.
Are you ready for Christmas, Tyler? We're right around the corner. Are you ready?
I am ready for Christmas. Tomorrow's Christmas Eve. Are you ready, Santa?
Oh, I'm so ready. I'm ready. We're packing up the sleigh and the last few gifts are getting wrapped and, we're checking that list, not just once, but twice. And going to make sure we don't miss anybody and everybody's resting up and the final test runs and practice runs of the sleigh with the reindeer. But like I said, it's snowing here. So it is crazy windy and that. So it makes training challenging, but we're ready to go. What are some of your favorite? What are some of your favorite Christmas traditions? What are some things you and your family do, Tyler?
Oh, well, we decorate a tree, right? We have a nice little tree in there. I have my little tree right here.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Oh, your Charlie Brown Christmas tree, so wonderful.
I found those at like a little place. They had some tree clippings, and I just drilled a hole in there. But
that's awesome.
It works. It's a nice little addition to my room right now. Yeah, we hang up some stockings, we wrap some presents, and we get ready.
That's great. Do you guys do anything for Christmas Eve or Christmas morning? Do you visit family or any services or any parades or things you go visit?
So we are going to go to our grandma's house tomorrow to go celebrate and just have some food and talk. And it's going to be nice. I'm excited. And then Christmas morning, wake up, see what you've left us, and go down probably to our grandma's house again, honestly.
Do you have a very big family, Tyler?
Oh, we do. We do have a very big family.
So do you get to spend a little bit of time with your family then, whether it's Christmas Eve or Christmas Day?
Yes, we do, actually. That's probably when we see them the most, to be honest, is around this time. So it's really nice.
That's wonderful. That's so wonderful. And I know you just got back from a trip. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, we were at Universal in Orlando. It was really fun. I actually got to meet the Grinch that you were talking about earlier.
Jolly.
He was there. We went to his little show that he did. It was a lot of fun.
That's great. And from the pictures I saw, and also checking on you, because Santa checks on you from now and then. Looks like you're with some family, your mom, I believe, and a sibling, correct?
Yes, I was there with my mom and my sister Emily.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Hopefully you gained so much from it. I know you and I chatted before you left, and it was a great, wonderful opportunity for you to be there. And obviously, you're working on many good things with your show and with the other aspects of your life. Although I did say, the day after Christmas is 364 days to Christmas, which we're already behind schedule. But in the meantime, you got summer break, and there's plenty of other holidays in there. And Tyler, you're going to celebrate a birthday and many other wonderful things this next year. So any family vacations, any magical surprises happening this year?
Oh, probably not soon, but we just got back. So, do
Right.
you celebrate any other holidays, or is Christmas like your thing? You
Well,
know?
there are other holidays, of course. Santa recognizes them, and celebrates them. But at the North Pole, we keep to our major holidays. Christmas, New Year's, Easter. Uh, all those wonderful holidays. But Santa really enjoys actually the Fourth of July. To see Santa in his Hawaiian shirts and red shorts, and sometimes I get the opportunity to make an appearance at whether it's local restaurants or local events or ballparks. And I think this summer there are some things in the works that I'm hoping to do.
That's awesome.
So right around that Fourth of July time, I'm really looking forward to that this year. Like Olaf, I love all hot things about summer.
That's awesome. How do you like to spend your summer break? Do you go surfing or go to the beach? What do you like to do?
I love all things outdoors. Santa wears red because he's a healthy outdoorsman, right? But when it comes to summer, it's just being outside, being with the ones we love and care about. Because you think about Christmas, much like you shared, you're going to be with your family for Christmas. It's That's what Christmas is about, spending it with your loved ones. But when it becomes summertime, you're off of school, and some people take off of work, and you go on trips, and you have this extra time. It's about spending time with those loved ones and doing those things you don't get to do when you're locked up because of the snow or the cold. Unlike where you live, where it's 52 degrees on Christmas, as opposed to me, where it's going to be -8 degrees. It's a wonderful time to spend time with friends and family, and that's what I like most about it. Ball games and the beach. And I know you don't live too far from the beach, so you're like, oh, it's just the beach. But for someone like me, there's no beaches around me, so I got to get it in when I can.
Oh, yes, I love the beach. I haven't been there in a good while, but it's a lot of fun. It's a little cold right now, but
Well, you in the South, as they say, Christmas Day could be 50 degrees and you guys are wearing coats, but us from the North, we could be in our shorts in the pool and you guys would think we're crazy. But
thank you so much for coming, Santa.
oh yes, this was so jolly, Tyler. I love everything you're doing and all your friends, and you guys have such magical content and shows, and I'm so blessed to be a part of it. Thank you.
Have a very good day, and I will see you soon. Bye.
Yep, Merry Christmas. Goodbye, everyone.